How's it going, Scrub Gamers? It's your boy Scrub Games coming at you with a juicy new piece of content for you to enjoy. But before we do get into the topic of the video, I just want to let you know how you can help support the channel, and that is by checking out Firestorm Games using my affiliate link in the description box below. Because Firestorm Games offer a whole host of products for almost every kind of hobby there is, be it Dragon Ball Super, Pokemon, One Piece, you name it, and they'll likely have it, and at some quality prices too. So just make sure to click the link below and check them out to see the whole host of products they offer while helping support the channel. And also, remember, there's another way to help out the channel, and that's by dropping a like, leaving a comment on the video, and best of all, hitting that subscribe button to keep up to date with my content when it drops. Because I'm still on the road to 1k subs and looking to hit that by the year's end. But now we've got all that sorted, let's dive into the topic of the video. Right, so let's get into the topic of the video at hand. So we've done the ever reviews for the red decks for both the Gohan and Dr. Hido, and also Cell Max as well. That was a quick one because there wasn't many cards for it. It was just the pre-release stuff plus the one card it gets in the set plus the other cards that can be quite useful for it. So that was an interesting one. I do like the Cell Max. It's just a pity that there wasn't much more than what it was given, and that the magenta negate didn't actually negate. But then we move on to blue, because that's the next color in it. Goes red, blue, green, yellow, black. And this one's an interesting one because with this blue deck, it's not primarily in blue. It's got more multicolor stuff in it. So it's not just over in blue. There's very few blue bits in it. It goes in yellow and it goes in the multicolor, which is quite cool. And it's one of my favourite characters, so I'm quite interested in this one. This is what's kind of brought me back into Dragon Ball, this deck, because it's one of my favourite characters. And it looks pretty nuts as well, and I do love a good Gogeta deck. So on the front side, it starts off as Son Goku, and it has the permanent negate the energy from skill all your blue, yellow, multicolor Saiyan cards in all areas. That's quite nice. We've had a fair few decks that go into multicolor, where multicolor is one of their prime ways of playing. Like in this, it's around the Gogeta stuff, and having that permanent to make it so you can actually run multicolors without them being dead, be able to charge them so you get the energy, is quite nice. Like there's only, I think, not many. It's only just when it's only like Android 16 that loses when it flips over. That is one that has it, but doesn't have it as well. So that's quite nice. It does have a look at that in a sec. And it does have a cool activate main, so gain advantage. So nice with activate main, meaning you have to attack to turn 1 if you go in first. You don't have to attack to actually gain value from this. You can turn 1, gain value without needing to attack, which is always really good. That's one reason why Bulma's a very, very good leader, things like that. So Son Goku, his activate main is once per turn, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. Look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 blue or yellow Saiyan card to your hand, and shuffle your deck. That's any blue or any yellow Saiyan. If it's multicolor and it's got blue or yellow as one of its colors, you can grab that. So it's really nice. You want to self-awaken as well, because there's no alternative awaken for this deck. But it's nice to just gain, because you gain 2 cards a turn, you gain 1 from life and 1 from your deck. Turn 1, fantastic. And its awaken is just when you have 5 or less, you draw 2 cards, and then you can place cards from in your energy area by your skills for the game. I think I'll have a quick look at it, because I only recently looked at most of the stuff recently after hearing about this one. It's really why I got back into it. And I don't think there's really any way you're really ramping. So I don't know, and if you know a way to ramp, put in the comments below. I can't really see anything. I might be just missing it because I haven't played in a while. But yeah, it's it's pretty good. It's got a permanent, nice little permanent to charge multicolor Saiyan cards you have without needing to have him rest and lose the access to that energy. An activate main to gain advantage, which gives you 2 a turn and help you awaken as well. Help you awaken, gain advantage, and have a broad search of what you can hit. So you should never really whiff off it. And an activate main, awaken is just a 5 or less life, except there's 4 like some old ones, and it's a more defensive awaken, drawing 2 cards to gain more value, because I'm not sure if it could be troubling with hand sides, but with like a lot of it draws as we go through this. So on the front side is Goku, and when it does awaken, it goes to the back side. It's now Son Goku and Vegeta tag team in health. If you've not seen the movie that this is based on, the Janemba Saga, which is from the Janemba movie, They team up together to fight Janemba before going into what the Z lead is going to be Gogeta. So it's, yeah, because normally when it's Janemba, it's Gogeta versus Janemba, or sometimes it's Pycon versus, I think yeah, it's been Pycon, but it was really Pycon as the leader, and then it was actually a Gogeta deck with Pycon just on the cover of it. I think we've had decks like that before, where like the leader's been a character and a deck has been a different character for it. So it's kind of like having like a label over it, like say Coca-Cola, and it's actually Fanta. Like it's not what it's actually shown as on the bottom, on the lid. But then it keeps, as I said, it keeps the permanent on the Awaken side, so it still has the you get the energy source of blue, yellow, multicolored saying cards in all areas, so you don't lose that ability, which is nice. And now you still do have an activate main, but it's different. It's not how you gain. It's not what is why you gain advantage, but you also got Neverway. You now have an auto, where when it's card attack, you draw one card, then add up to one card from your left to your hand. So your activate main is now turned into an auto, where now you need to attack to draw a card and take up the life. And you might be wondering, why do you want to take a life right now if you're awakened? Well, if you want to go to your Z leader, you're gonna have to go to a certain amount of life, as we'll see in a sec. And the activate main's really nice. Windows once per turn by paying 1 blue as the cost. That's it. You draw one card, then choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards, which costs 4 or less, and add to your owner's hand. Now, bouncing back to owner's hand isn't that bad, but sometimes it can be handy, especially if you're getting like a Z battle card or something like that, where it doesn't go back to hand, it gets removed from the game. That's quite cool. It's like removal for one blue, and you draw a card as well, so you actually get energies become a draw one. And the fact that it draws as well and is a bit of removal is quite nice as well, so it gives you extra draw power. If you don't have anything to use your energy on, you can just use that because you don't have to choose something, because it chooses up to 1, which is really cool. So it's like you don't want to put them in the hand so they can play it again, you can do that. So that is the leaders. It looks pretty good, and then it goes a little step further. As you remember, they got the Z leaders in this game now, and we have the Z leader for this deck is SS Gogeta Shining Through Hell, because as I said in the thing, it comes into Goku going to find basically investigate Pycon, what's going on, and then because of Janemba, it's him fighting, and Vegeta comes in to help, and then they fuse together to defeat Janemba. If you've not watched Dragon Ball, because I know some people who play this game that haven't watched a single bit of Dragon Ball, they just like the game, because it is a good game. So we've got SS Gogeta Light Shining Through Hell. It's a 20k base Z leader that acquires 2 Z energy, 1 blue, and you'd be at 3 or less life, and go over a blue card with both Goku and Vegeta. And I've seen people mention the blue cards, it should be a Rata, blah blah blah. Doesn't need to be a Rata, you can only use the Awaken over a leader, so that's pretty irrelevant. Probably it's just to save a bit of text, I imagine, with a blue leader card. But then we've got now 2 autos in Activate Battle. So the first one, auto, is once per turn. When your blue-yellow multicolored Gogeta card is played by Union skill, you draw 1, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and place it at the bottom of the opponent's deck. So that's pretty nice, just dropping one of your Gogeta cards, which are like some of your boss monsters. Well, is your boss monster, as we'll see in a bit. And you get the draw card, because as we'll soon see as well, the Union's a little bit different. Normally when we've seen Gogeta Unisons, they replace themselves, or they kind of replace themselves for effects. The cards you're ditching, so you're not negging. But this one you are kind of negging, but then this kind of gives you something back. And you get a bit of removal through barrier as well, which is excellent, and it's on the lead, so it can't really be. It's not you really do about it. And it's bottom decking, not bouncing to hand, bottom decking like blue should be having. So that's a way to gain advantage, and you also, just like with the Awakened leader, you gain advantage through that, as well as with the Ever Auto, which is when this card attacks for 1. So now you're not taking a life, because you don't need to take a life anymore. You've gone under 3, you've gone as your Z leader, now you're just swinging to draw 1, and you're at 20k base, which is pretty good. And you've also got this nice little Activate Battle, which is once per turn. If it's your turn, you have a Gogeta or Veku card, both with the Aegis skill in play, and you send 1 blue card, 1 yellow card from your drop to your warp as the cost. So after you do that, so you need something in the battle, is either be your turn, a specific card with a specific skill in your play, and you need the warp from your drop, a blue card, and a red yellow card. So any blue yellow cards, so that's quite a variety of different things. It could be extra cards, unisons, blah blah blah. As long as there's a blue card and 1 yellow card as well, you got a warp from your drop. And then the effect that you gain from doing that is switch 2 of your energy to active mode, and you can only play yellow battle cards for a turn. So only playing yellow isn't that bad, because normally you're going to be to get the Gogeta on, you're going to have to be paying a hefty amount to drop the Gogeta, so it doesn't really matter much, and you're going to be using this as a way to end games as well, in combination with whenever a card will see. But yeah, be able to switch 2 energy to active mode for free, without paying anything, just having this set up, which is very easy to do when you get to the later part of the game, is really nice. It's a really good leader. Like, it's a shame it's blue. I'm not a big fan of blue, more because of like how the decks are and how people play blue decks. Like, if you've seen with Android 21, it's a very like stall for time deck and win via time to grind through, just play very slowly, and people that seem to play that in most blue decks, they play very slowly to the point where they're playing to the slow play that you're still kind of players, and that's highly associated in my mind with blue. From what I've experienced playing the game for so long since the beginning. So it's like blue, but then this deck is there's like some blue decks that really get me interested in them as well. So that's the leaders. Then we go on to some of the Z cards to get as well. So the only other Z card that this deck gets is a Z extra card. Like, I think almost every deck in this set gets a Z extra card, because it's the whole new mechanic thing we've got. So for Gogeta, he gets Soul Punisher, the Cleansing Light. This is a 1 energy, 1 Z energy Z extra. And it has 2 skills. First one is the permanent, where if your leader is a blue leader with both Son Goku or Vegeta, and Vegeta, or a blue Gogeta Z leader, you can activate your Aegis skill by sending 1 yellow and 1 yellow card, 1 blue card from your drop to your warp instead of discarding a card from your hand, which is excellent. It means you could just use this basically Union fodder to that you've just sent off to drop the Gogeta and Vekus and stuff to pay for Aegis. I mean, you can get a free untap by doing that. So you're going to get this out as early as possible because it's just a fantastic card. Then you got the Activate Battle, which is what you're going to do in combination with your leader's Activate Battle when you enter Z lead, which is limit 1 for 1 blue, 1 yellow. If you have 5 or more energy, your blue Gogeta Z leader is attacking, and you remove this card from the game. So more of an end game thing, and you lose this card permanently. You have to pay those 2 untapped, but then you get a pretty nice effect in your attacking card. Gets 30k power and triple strike for the battle. So then you become a 50k triple strike base to try and finish off games. And if you got your opponent down to 3 and held enough combo power, you can just go fully in. There's even extra cards you can put in, being it blue, to just help push through even further, which is really nice. So this is going to be a nice way to end games. If you end games with this, you've got your other cards, your other boss cards, stuff to end games with as well. But this is excellent. Yeah, really good card. And that's all the Z cards you get, just the Z lead and the Z extra. But then it's blue. Blue's got quite a good pool of and also can be combined with yellow as well. It's got a good combination of Z cards you can put in with this as well. But this is some nice cards to get from the get-go. Then we go into some of the battle cards. So we'll go through the firstly the few blue cards it does get for this deck. So we get an SS Vegeta Counter Strike, free cost, 5k, 0 cost 5k combo. This one had like Vegeta's critical, because it normally is. They both have, like, normally Goku and Vegeta, when they use this kind of thing, they have a skill and they have different skills. Like with the Gogeta deck, it was Vegeta having critical and Goku having double strike. And once again, Vegeta has critical, gives us critical hits him. And he's got 2 permanents, where first one being if your leader is a blue leader with both Son Goku and Vegeta, or a blue Gogeta Z leader card. This card gets 15k power, so it becomes a 20k you can drop down. And a permanent as well, if this card would be leave the battle area, send this card to your warp instead. So yeah, if you drop it in the battle area, it's going to go to warp if it gets removed. And you've got this also, which is limit 1 for 1 blue. When this card in your drop is sent to your warp by your Soul Punisher, the Cleansing Light, or a blue Gogeta card skill, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less, and place it at the bottom of his owner's deck. Then play this card from your warp. So that's pretty cool. So if you use your Z extra or your Z lead to remove this, either by the activate battle skill on your Z leader or by the extra card when paying for Aegis, then you get to get this nice little effect of bottom deck when your opponent's 4 cost or less and getting this on the board as an attacker. This is quite cool. It's quite a nice effect. And one of the nice things about this is that even though it might seem pointless getting this on the board because you want them in hand to fight for fodder for the Union Fusion, you can, if you put both this and a Goku on the board, you can then like Union Potara over them as well. So you got those, and there's some pretty nice Union Potara cards that you can play with this as well. Then we got the next one, the next blue card being another Vegeta, being Vegeta combination attack in hell, another free cost 5k, and there's going to be a requirement. I think if we look at the Union skills in a bit when we come to the Gogeta cards, there's like a heavy restriction on it being a specific card you need, and I think, and it's not normally going to be a specific color for a character, cost, and I think power, or might not be cost and power, it might be just power and color, but we'll see when we get to it. But for this one, it's a never free cost 5k with 0 cost 5k combo. Nice little auto limit 1, which is when this card in your drop is sent to your warp by your Soul Punisher Cleansing Light or a Blue Gogeta card skill. Add up to 1 yellow Son Goku card with energy cost of 3 and 5k power from your deck to your hand and shuffle your deck. Oh, sorry, yellow Son Goku. So if you warp this one from your drop to pay for the Z extra when paying for the do the replacement of cost for your Z extra or for your just Gogeta skill, you get to add a Goku from your deck. The yellow Goku, free cost of 5k, power from your deck, so that's why they're free cost 5k and certain colors. This helps you filter for your deck quite well, make sure you got materials to do more things as well. It's a really nice effect. This is a really good one. I think these ones are going to be definite 4-rolls in the deck. And you've also got the activate main limit 1 for 1 blue. If your leader is a blue Son Goku card, draw 1 card and play this card from your hand, so you can get this out on the board just to make use of your energy if you want to as well. Not sure really so far if this is going to be useful, this effect. It could be, but we'll see as we get the deck and it starts doing well, which I think it will do quite well, because normally blue-yellow decks, blue-yellow multicolor decks normally do very well, because they're normally the most powerful color combination in the game, because it's the 2 best colors in the game. So that is that one. Then we've also we've got this some of the cards in here that came with the archetype when they reveal them, because normally they took 2 days each to reveal, for half of it one day, half of the other, and this was in part of the Gogeta deck stuff, so it's not really a Gogeta card, but then it's revealed with it. So it's a great Saiyan man protecting worldly life, being a 2-cost super combo. It's just basically just standard blue super combo, nothing really to go over. We went over the one with a red, which is the Vidal one. This is just another one in blue, which is Gohan Adolescence. So if you want to Gohan Adolescence super combo, that's 15k base power to be useful in that way, and a 0 cost 5k, 0 cost 10k combo. Then this is not another option if you want to. And then for some reason they released, even though there's nothing to do with Go Tank, so there's no Go Tank stuff in the set or in the TPs or anything like that, or even any promos, yet we've got a 1-cost skillless Son Goten for shenanigans. So, and we'll see in a bit, we've got the Trunks one in the other side. So I'm not sure why this was printed, I know there's skillless put in there, but yeah, this is a weird one. Then we get to the yellow cards. So not, as I said, not many blue cards because it's split over 2 colors because it's a multicolor deck. But we've got the Goku, so this is going to be similar to the first Vegeta we saw. And as you see, with the Vegeta has critical, Goku has a different skill, but this time instead of double strike, he has blocker, because normally you have a fair few blocker Gokus in yellow. I think it's more in red, he's double strike and stuff like that. And so this is SS2 Son Goku, counter strike, free cost 5k with 0 cost 5k combo. Has a permanent, has the same kind of permanent as the Vegeta did, where if he's on board and you're playing this deck, he's a 20k, and same permanent as what same second permanent. Whereas if we leave the battle area, it's sent to the warp instead. And then he's got this exactly same auto, just you're paying 1 yellow instead. And instead of bottom decking a 4 or less, you're choosing one of your opponent's battle cards, switching the rest mode. So you get if you do warp this, you then use the effect, pay 1. You get to play this at the end of the turn on your warp, and switch a battle card the rest. And it's just any battle card, not specific cost or anything, so that's pretty handy. And then we got the Goku, so as you'll see a theme here, that there's 2 Gokus and 2 Vegetas, each different color, with the being free cost 5k. And this one has the same kind of auto as the second one, where if it's removed by those effects again, like the Z extra and the Z leader, then the Vegeta such as the Goku, a yellow Goku of this stats, so being a free cost of 5k power, and Goku when he's warped by those of skills, he gets to add a blue Vegeta with 5k power and free cost from your deck. So they search each other, which is pretty nice. And the same activate main, where but you're paying 1 yellow instead to play it out. But I think with the it should be the same leader, and yeah, so it's just it's the 2 Vegetas in blue and the 2 Gokus in yellow, both do the same thing, just a slightly different effect on the first first one's one, where the Blue Vegeta bottom decks a 4 cost or less, and then plays himself at the end of the turn, and the Goku rests a battle card and plays it at the end of the turn. Then we got the other side to Goten, which is a yellow skillless Trunks. Not sure why they was in there with no Gotenks card to make use of Unipatara or anything like that. So it's an odd one. They just wanted to fill it up with some skillless, I imagine. But for Cube, this could be pretty interesting, pretty cool. I think I'll have a look back at the Cube as well, because I've missed a few sets of doing coverage for it. So then we've got I think this might be the last yellow card. I think it is the last yellow card for this deck, and it's a Pycom Otherworld Expert. Now it's an interesting one because he's got, I don't really see much benefit outside the activate main, but the activate main is pretty good, but it's nothing, you can't really search it by the leader or anything like that. It is a card you can include, not searchable, but helps with consistency. Because the 2 cost 10k with 0 cost 5k combo, it's got critical because you can play it out if you want to. And the best thing about it is the activate main skill, which is limit 1. If your leader is a blue leader with both Son Goku and Vegeta, or is a Gogeta Z leader and you discard this card from your hand as the cost, you look up to 5 cards on top of your deck, and up to 1 blue or yellow Saiyan card with entry cost of 4 or less to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So it's a good way to help consistency, can be used as combo power, but it also has a way to play itself, which is the activate battle. And this is by paying 1 yellow if your leader is a Saiyan card and you have 2 or more energy. You play this card from your hand, then choose up to one of your opponent's field extras with entry cost of 2 or less and place it in his owner's drop. So it's kind of like you get some field removal from this, but there's not many decks that require a field where their field is 2 cost or less that this is great against. So that effect's kind of just there. There's not really relevant for anything, and there's some things you do want to hit that are fields either have barrier or a lot higher cost than 2 or less. So this is like they just want to hit King Cold for some reason and making this, which is a bit odd. But that's the last yellow card, and I think we now go into the multicolor stuff for the deck. So first one we've got is SS3 Son Goku, Premonitions of this Fierce Battle. Now this is a card that could be a bit more generic, but it's a very good one for this deck. I think this one does need an errata, otherwise it's not as useful as it should be, because I think they have, just have an issue with the permanent. Because we've got the Energy, Exhaust, Deflect, Double Strike as these skills on it, 4 cost 25k with a 1 cost 5k combo. It's got a permanent where if your leader is a blue or yellow Saiyan card, reduce the combo cost of this card by 1. And where it doesn't specify what area it's reduced by, it's always been the case where if it doesn't refer to an area, then it's referring to the battle area. So in hand, it costs 1 for a 5k combo, but on board it costs nothing. It costs 0 for a 5k combo as long as your leader is a blue or yellow Saiyan. So I think they've messed up on there where it should be in your hand. It should be reducing a combo this card by 1 in your hand, but they've messed up because I remember there's only 1 card that they have errated, and that's the Gogeta, which we're going to come up to in a bit because they misworded it. But luckily, there's only been 1 errata so far, or potentially 2, that we've seen for this set, not like the last one we had, where we had, I think 13 or 15 erratas in one set, which was ridiculous for a big company to be making these kind of errors on one of their main games. It's just really poor, really. But then we've got the Auto, which is when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, which is the rest mode. Then you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with entry cost of 5 or less, place it in the bottom of his owner's deck. So that's pretty cool. Just get the rest one, bottom deck another. There's only a restriction on the bottom decking of one being 5 or less. Doesn't go for bar or anything, but then that would be really busted for any blue or yellow deck, really. Because there's a way you can play it out, and you can cheat out on either player's turn, because it's got an activate main / battle, which is limit 1, but you only need to pay 2 for it, and you leader needs to be a blue or yellow Saiyan card, and you need to have 3 or more energy, and as well as that, also have a Z card in your battle area. Now do note it's a Z card, not Z extra or Z battle or anything, a Z card, so I can count a Z extra or a Z battle card in your battle area. And as long as you fulfill that condition, you can draw 1 card and play this card from your hand, so you can get that then also defensively on your opponent's turn, while establishing a 25k double strike as well. And given the fact it's got deflect, it means it can be stopped by counter plays, which is pretty cool. Now, I've seen people mention about like, oh, you're not really going to be a player in anything, but then some people do play in some yellow decks. The yellow Hercule deck, Z battle card, which is a 1 cost that has barrier that can then rest things, so you can get so when you play that 8-drop Goku, you can then get the full effect of swinging twice because you've got all your battle cards in rest mode. If you got some that you don't want to put in rest mode, so you always got that to have this live and have barrier to have protection. So there's always that, and this is just a pretty nice card for really any blue or yellow Saiyan deck. So that's one of the cards. It does get an SPR as well, which is quite nice. Probably looks a lot better in person, but it is pretty nice art. Like the art's always quite nice. Like gets better and better with every set. So now we go on to do some of the Union Fusions. So the first one we've got is Veku, Come Back from Defeat. So this is a 5-cost 10k with a 1-cost 1k combo. Energy Source Deflect, also has Aegis, Blue Yellow, which is once per turn. And its Union Fusion skill is by paying 1 if you have 2 or more energy, using a yellow Son Goku with 5k power and a blue Vegeta with 5k power. So there's quite heavy restrictions on the fusion, so you've got to have a specific color of the Goku and Vegeta with specific power as well. Normally it just says, when we had most times with Union Fusion, it's been how much cost there is, how much energy you need, and then it's been specific colors of the Goku and Vegeta, but then you also draw to replace them, and nowhere about power, just as long as both the power is the same. For this one, it's a heavy restriction on a yellow Goku and a yellow Vegeta. They both need to be 5k power. So when you do drop it and kind of neg your hand a little bit, you don't have 2 autos. First one is when this card is played. This card gains barrier until the end of your opponent's turn, give that nice little bit of protection. But then again, barrier is a little bit easier to get through now with most of the colors. So it's not the greatest, not as great as it was when it first released. And you also have this Ever Auto, which is if you send this card to your warp. So this is specify where, so it's from battle area. When this card's Aegis skill activates, choose up to 1 each blue or yellow Son Goku and Vegeta cards with 5k power from your warp, then add 1 to your hand and place the other one at the bottom of your deck. So that's quite cool. You don't really get both of them back after doing this, just to trigger Aegis to do whatever you need to be. But you get to at least add 1 back and bottom deck the other. So if you did so that way one's there, so you can grab it back if you do a warp for your any skills or anything like that for Aegis. It's an interesting one. Not sure what purpose it's gonna really give in here. Maybe just to trigger some recycling, but it could be decent. It could be terrible. But then we get onto the better one, being our big boss card for the deck, being SS Gogeta, Sparking to Utmost Limit. So this one is an 8-cost 35k, so a big boy. Same kind of a power to cost as the Blue Ape baby in the last set. It's also a 1-cost 10k combo, and it's got all the skills because it's got Energy Source, Deflect, Double Strike, Blocker. It also has Aegis, Blue Yellow, which is once per turn, and its Union Fusion skill is 1 blue, 1 yellow, and 2 other energy. If your opponent has 3 or more energy and draws 2, now this is where the errata comes in, is not if your opponent has 3 or more energy and draws 2, is if your opponent has 3 or more energy and you draw 2 cards. So you get the draw 2 cards, you get to actually replace, you don't go neg with this, unlike the Veku. So you discard those, and then the cost is, well, that's the cost, and then the requirements are for fusion is yellow Son Goku with 5k power and blue Vegeta with 5k power. So same as that, the yellow Goku, and blue Vegeta, both with 5k power. And at least this one you don't only go neg in your hand from the card itself, not from the materials, which is cool. And then you have 2 autos when you drop this, which is when this card is played, this card can't be removed from your battle area by your opponent's skills until the end of your opponent's turn. So it's got really nice protection from everything except power negation, power reduction. So you have to look out for that in red. But then anything else, you've got that great protection to not be removed. And you also got another auto, which is once per turn. When your energy is switched to active mode by a skill, switch this card to active mode, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or unisons, switch to rest mode. So that's pretty sick. You can use that both defensively or offensively, just by when you basically just when your energy is switched to active mode. Because remember, with your Z lead, you can use the activate battle just when you've got this on board to just switch to energy to active mode, so you can go and try and go in hard with the Z extra card. And that'll trigger this to get a second attack out of it, or have it restood so you can block. And then if you're doing defensive, if you activate Aegis on the card, You then get to restand it and also rest one of your opponent's battle cards at unison, which is really good. So very strong card, and also gets a nice little SPR as well. The SPR looks pretty sick. I do really like that. Might have to get a playset of that one in the SPR. And then we've got the last card for it being the secret rare. Because when you get a deck this powerful, it's what a character that's like Gogeta, then you're gonna have a secret rare for it. Let me go back, so it's just moved for some reason. But yeah, we got the secret rare for this deck, and a good secret rare for blue and yellow decks, being SS Gogeta Fusion Reborn. So this one is 8 cost 40k, ultimate, 1 cost 10k combo, energy source and blocker, and its union fusion is either 1 blue or 1 yellow. If your leader is blue or yellow, and you have 3 or more energy, you use a Son Goku card and Vegeta card. So any Son Goku Vegeta cards, remember, as long with union fusions they have the same power, but it's not like the other ones being a blue Vegeta and a yellow Son Goku. It's just any Goku or Vegeta as long as they both have the same power, and your leader is blue or yellow and you have 3 more energy. It also has Aegis blue-yellow for once per turn, so get back energy defensive, which is really nice. And it's got a really sick permanent. And this card is, and the effect is, this card can't be removed from your battle area by your opponent's skills, and you can activate this card's Aegis skills by sending 1 card from your opponent's hand to the bottom of the deck instead of discarding a card from your hand. So basically, it's irremovable. I think the only way you can remove it is like yellow's got effect negation tied into some of their effects at KO, so you can negate your skills and KO it. Red can neg it to 0 if they've got enough negging to put it all down from 40k to 0. And then outside of that, I think blue has Tapion, the Unison. I'm not sure it's got much else, but you've got some ways to get rid of it well, some of the stronger colors than you do. Not every color has a way to deal with this, but there are some colors that do. So there's gonna be some colors that counter this. But it's a very, very good permanent skill. Just not be another, like, you're gonna have a hard time running over it, and yeah, you just can't remove it by skills. It just like shrugs them off. Then you got the auto, which is once per turn. When your energy is switched to active mode by a skill, choose up to one of your opponent's cards, just any of your opponent's cards, battle card, leader card, unison, any card. Switch Norman Barrow, switch to rest mode, then switch to card active mode. So that's pretty nice. Just you can have this, block with this, and then trigger your Aegis to just bottom deck 1 card from their hand to get 2 energy untapped. And then, because you're untapped energy, you switch the card back to active mode, rest 1 of their cards, ignoring barrier, and then block again. Where you've just basically negged them a fair few things just to be able to disrupt them even more, which is fantastic. A really good secret rare, probably going to be the best one for the deck because it's quite cheap. And it's also searchable in the deck as well. Like cheap as in not the cost of the card because I don't know yet, but in like how they drop it. So that is the secret rare. And we do have a TP as well for this, which is another Veku. And this is Veku, the strongest failed warrior. So this one is a 5 cost 10k, 1 cost 10k combo, reflect and energy exhaust with Aegis blue yellow once per turn. Its union fusion skill is 1 if you have 2 or more energy, yellow Goku with 5k power and a blue Vegeta with 5k power. So kind of the same as the other one, really. Nothing really different, just from its auto skills, really. And that is the first one being when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less. Switch to rest mode, and this card can't be KO'd until the end of your opponent's turn. Now, not being KO'd is not as great as having barrier, so already it's not that great compared to the other one. And the other auto is when this card's Aegis skill activates, you get to use up to 1 blue or yellow card with 5k combo power from your drop in a combo with the skills you get for the turn. So you can get that Z energy in there, but you shouldn't have much of an issue with that to have this. So I'm not sure if this is actually going to be great for the deck. Just still need to do a bit of testing with it, so I'm looking to properly play this deck because one of my favourite characters. But that is it for it. So what an interesting one. Like, it's the first one in a while where we've had quite a bit of the the deck cover mostly 2 colors. Like I know we've had Android 21 before, but it hasn't really covered more into much into green. It's more been focused on blue and then multicolor, which is this is in blue and yellow and multicolor. So we haven't seen that in a good while. I think it's been a good while since we've had that. I think that was lastly in Can't remember when though. I think it might have been set 19, no, set 17 maybe. I think we've had the deck go over to 2 different colors and multicolor as well. So yeah, but this looks a really good deck. I give this one probably out of 5. I go for 1, being a probably a tier 1 meta deck when it comes out, and a pretty strong one, a strong contender as well. It is very good. It's got some very powerful plays, and blue and yellow are the 2 strongest colors in the game's history and like still today. And it's got so many good cards and a good way to finish as well. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch up next time when we go over the Blue Gogeta deck next, because we're going over the blue decks. This is the first of the blue. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.